Geek Out!
Pinkies up. Time for another Geek Out Book Club. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
This week we're going to be talking about Skip to the End by Jeremy Holt and Alex Diotto. Out in stores everywhere on June 12th. Jake, what do you think of this 4-issue miniseries?
It's pretty interesting because, we got to talk to Jeremy about it, and there's definitely the Nirvana influence in there.
Yeah. And he's like, he's not trying to be like subtle about it. He's like, yeah, this is like a analog to Nirvana.
And yeah, I mean, it's some really interesting stuff, dealing with kind of like the time travel aspect of it and loss. I was telling Sam when I was reading it, like I didn't have it blasting because, I wanted to be able to pay attention to the book, but I had In Utero on in the background, which I hadn't listened to in a while, actually. It was nice to revisit a bunch of those songs. It's just a really cool, interesting take on just, being in a band. Like I was in crappy bands in high school, but with zero success. But this was like zero success, negative success even. But
by that metric, we're negatively successful too.
Yeah, definitely. But it was even that was like interesting just to be like remembering just playing crappy little shows. You know what I mean?
Oh
just
yeah,
on the tiniest little thing. Playing with your buds,
and those dive bars and stuff.
Yeah. So it's a really cool.
It's also very. I think it's pretty raw and dealing with its grief and addiction, especially.
Yeah. It's beautiful moments. It's really sad and tragic. But yeah, I kept thinking of remember that line in The Office where Andy's like, "I wish we knew that we were in the good old days before
they ended."
Yeah. So that's how I link The Office to this book, because everything has to be linked to The Office.
How many rewatches of that?
Oh, I've lost track. I've lost track of that shit because like where I am with Frasier and like Scrubs and stuff, I'm very much like I have to watch it in order.
Yeah,
The Office has just been all over the place.
Okay,
I mean I've rewatched it multiple times, but it's just whatever episode pops up. I don't care.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think with this you're seeing a lot of. I mean, it's a meditation on loss. But also on like second chances, regret, redemption, comes from kind of a very raw place. You're the main character, Johnny, is dealing with opiate addiction, and in the idea that he can never reclaim those glory days, even as he, like Jake was saying, there is time travel involved. There is this idea that if he, uses this conduit, this spatial collider through the guitar, he can teleport himself back to those glory days. And it's a guy that, tries to keep the party going and see how much, one, try to save his friend, but two, see if he can get back to where he once belonged. And I think that's something that, we all have those moments where like, I wish I could have just another couple days, like in this period or that period. And I think there's a lot of that kind of like, it's not necessarily a sad book, but it's a book that kind of like it asks those questions and just kind of lets them like hang there. It lets the reader kind of answer those questions and every reader's going to kind of have their own solutions to that. I think it's a question that you kind of live with for the rest of your life, and I think that this book kind of explores that ennui. And so again, it's out on June 12th. Skip to the end. Stick around and maybe you'll hear an interview.
What's your favorite Nirvana song?
Heart-Shaped Box. How about you?
Aneurysm.
What's your... you mentioned in our interview that's coming up, your favorite concert was seeing Springsteen. What's your least favorite concert? Cheap Trick?
They disappointed me.
For the last time. Yeah.
That was a bummer.
So it is Cheap Trick.
I guess, yeah. I've been pretty lucky with the shows I've seen, man. But I mean, out of that, I got to see Hart and Joan Jett.
Yeah, true. Double true.
And I still sang like a motherfucker during Surrender. Mommy's all right. Daddy's all right.
Oh, yes, of course. But yeah, June 12th, skip to the end. This has been another Geek Out Book Club. I'm Sam.
I'm Jake.
Keep reading. This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.